All right. There we go. I was like, okay, let's wait and see. Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope your week is going well. It's already Wednesday. Crazy. Time goes by unbelievably fast. Really, really does. So I hope everybody is doing good. I hope your week is going well. All right. Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I will ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can do that, we'll have a nice chat. If you can't, then those awesome people lit up in blue will boot you out of here that have the wrenches because we are not going to tolerate that. Really easy. So, all right. A lot of crazy, crazy stuff going on, which we're going to get into a little bit of that. There have been oh wait, before we get into everything, let's talk about this first. When we get to the egg count, we're going to be giving away the next Ron Foster book. It is A Pox Among Us, or Upon Us, I'm sorry. A Pox Upon Us. So this is actually part of a series. He has a 4 book series. So those of you that are winning these in the series, there's still 3 more other books, but this is one of those 4 books. So whoever gets the egg count right tonight will win this book. All you need to do is shoot me an email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com, and we will go from there with that. So definitely stick around for that, and hopefully we'll have a good time with that. And JJ just threw the link up for Ron Foster if you would like to check out the rest of his books. What do you plan to grow this year? It's that I 100% I am not sure yet. I know I do want to do potatoes again. I think potatoes are a great thing to plant. They're such a superfood that I think it's really important. I just saluted you with my Arizona green tea. Okay, Russ, I will salute you back. But I'm hopeful that we can get a greenhouse in this year and get that started. And so we're going to have to see what happens with that. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, to be honest with you. Uh, I am going to try to get some different things planted this year just because I love gardening. I'll be honest, I absolutely love gardening. So that will be something that you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple of things here. We're going to talk about the a lot of accidents happening. Accidents always happen. I'm not trying to read anything into anything. I'm not trying to say anything, but we can always speculate. We can say this is interesting or that's interesting, right? So as we know, there's been a big push to get away, and I find certain things interesting. Um, PN1, have you a shortwave radio, old one? I don't have a shortwave radio, but I do have ham radios and stuff like that. So I do have those, and and then I have a few other things as well. So, but yeah, there will be that'll be set up down here as well. But anyway, let's talk about this. I'm gonna try to stay on topic here. Um, so this is what I find interesting. Okay, so first of all, you have the big push to get away from eating meat, right? They're really pushing us to get away from eating meat, and then with correlation to that, all of a sudden beef prices go out the roof as far as prices go, making it almost impossible to buy beef because it's so expensive. But here's the interesting part of that: the cattlemen that are selling their beef, you would think, well, they're got to be making huge profits, right? It's not them. They're not making huge profits on that. It is um, the packers and the people that are doing it that way, and the people that run those things. They're the ones that are really making the money. Yeah, JJ said eggs as well. Yeah, and I'm going to touch on that too, JJ. So you have that happening, right? So all of a sudden, there was a tremendous uptick in these meat processing plants having fires. Some of them being destroyed, quite a few of them being destroyed, actually. You've had fires at egg production plants where the chickens are. They had the virus scare, right, with for the chickens and the fowl, and so a lot of chickens were put down or culled, like they like to call it culled, which really, I mean, that's a very fancy, nice word for they killed all the chickens. And also a bunch of turkeys and those type of things because of the bird flu that was going around. So you've had all these things happening, right? And so now all of a sudden, and kind of coincidental. I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm just saying that this is interesting. So last year, chicken stopped, a lot of chickens stopped laying eggs, right? A lot of chickens stopped laying eggs. And so there is speculation that the feed was changed. And hey, Asif, I hear that they're trying to pass a law to put a tracking device in every gun sold in the U.S. Thickneck is still on sabbatical. Oh my God, that's too funny. That would be, yeah, I'd like to see him get that passed and done. See, here's the funny thing, okay? And thank you very much for that information, Asif. Regardless of what, we're gonna go back to topic here in a second, but I do want to address what Asif just said there. Regardless of what laws they pass, folks, there will be people that will not abide by those laws. Good, honest, hardworking people that don't feel that they should have their rights infringed upon. And so they're not going to comply. That's a fact. Okay. Now, they have been doing whole kinds of registrations of stuff recently, obviously. So, they could say, well, we know you have X, Y, or Z, and so you either have to give it up or, put whatever device on it or those type of things. But I'm going to tell you right now, there is a whole lot more weapons out there that have no trace back and those type of things. And, guns are stolen all the time. We know that. We know that for a fact. It happens constantly. Got lost in a boating accident. Right, exactly. Uh, you know, so, they're going to push this agenda. That it's never going to stop, and so it's going to be very very difficult for them to get people to completely comply. We are not Australia. We are not the UK. Nothing against you guys in Australia. Nothing against the guys in UK, and we're definitely not Canada either. Where I know the Canadians are standing up and trying to fight back, which I applaud them for doing so, but you're having there's a lot of issues with that, so we're not gonna go into that anymore. I kind of want to stay on topic with what we were talking about. What do we got? 341 in the chat, folks, and we're at 102 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to show support for the channel, and I appreciate that. And it really makes a big difference with the algorithm, so the more thumbs up we get, the better it is for the channel. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you very much for doing that. All right. So, but yeah, it's, they can pass whatever they want. But, oh, what am I doing here? What did I just do? I did something. Hold on. Okay, there we go. They can pass any laws that they want. But as far as the last time I checked, and I'm going to mention this, and that's where I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm not going to get into that discussion tonight on here. But the last time I looked, the Second Amendment said shall not be infringed. That doesn't mean that lawmakers decide, oh, we're going to enact this law and you have to abide by it. We're going to enact that law that you have to abide by, which really only restricts law-abiding citizens. Because once again, and I will say this over and over and over again, criminals do not abide by gun laws. They never will, they never have, and they're never going to. So that's just something to, think about. So all they're doing is making law-abiding citizens become criminals. That's the way I look at it. So, but Frederick Nolan said, "Oh, new guns only." Well, again, they could do that, but I just I wish them luck with that kind of stuff. I think there's too many people out there that are not going to lay down for that. Let's just put it like that. Okay, so let's get back on topic here. So you've had a lot of chickens culled. You've had another fire recently in a egg production facility. You've had a lot of you know meat packing places, catastrophic fires, completely destroyed buildings, and it all goes in. And so, what's a direct result of this? Oh, I was talking about the feed. I wanted to go back to the feed. Now, there's speculation, and I'll leave it like that. You can make your own judgments, and I will tell you about our situation and what we did and how what happened with us. Okay, with our chickens. So anyway, you had speculation that last year that Purina is the one that makes a lot of the feed for Tractor Supply and stuff like that. That they changed their feed, okay, changed their feed, and don't know if they did, don't know if they didn't. I'm just sharing information, okay. Well, all of a sudden, a lot of chickens stopped laying eggs, ours included. And yes, we got our feed from Tractor Supply up in New York, okay. And so over the course of this winter, you guys have seen, and generally the winter is a time when the chickens don't lay as many eggs anyway. They just don't because they're not as much sunlight. It's cold. They go into molting in the fall where their feathers are regrowing, and so a lot of those factors will cause egg production to go down. And but we were getting a lot less than we normally did. Okay, and so found that quite interesting. So Becky and I had been talking, and and I had talked about giving the chickens oatmeal, giving them warm oatmeal, cooking up some oatmeal, taking it out there, put it down, they'll eat it. That should help with egg production. And then she did some more research and looked into switching the chickens to goat feed, which is oats and corn, right? And it's crack corn and oats. And so she looked into that, and they said you switch them to the cracked corn and oats feed, goat feed, and within 2 weeks you should see an increase in egg production. Right. So that's what Becky did. And since the 2 weeks was up about a week ago, and since then, the egg production has been up for our chickens in New York. Now, is there a correlation? Is there something to that? I'm not saying that there is, and I'm not saying that there's not. But I find it quite interesting that we make a couple of adjustments and the production of the eggs has gone up because of that. As you guys know, we were getting zero, one. On a good day, we would get two eggs. And so, that was, but that was what was going on there. Now you can make your own feed for chickens. There's different things that you can do, for them as well. That if you wanted to make your own feed, but I'm just saying that Eggland's Best are still $3.99 a dozen here. Excuse me, I apologize. Uh, before all the craziness with the egg prices started. Well, I know Okie Forest over here. I'm paying like four something a dozen if I'm getting eggs down here in West Virginia. So yeah, it's gotten pretty expensive, but it's still like I said, it's you just don't know. You just don't know. So, but that I found really really interesting. Is there a correlation? Is there not? I'm not saying that there is. I'm not saying that they're not. They need 60% protein for consistent egg production. Goat feed only has 8. Prepared Family just said that. Okay, well, you know, then explain to me, Prepared Family, why the egg production is up since my sister switched them. And let's look at it realistically, Prepared Family. And I'm not hammering on you, and I'm not picking on you. Please don't think that. Yes, my chickens also get mealworms. Becky gives them the mealworms as well, plus again the oatmeal. But anyway, 100 years ago, we didn't get our feed from the store. The chickens did a lot of free ranging. In the winter times, it was oats and corn and stuff like that that they were given for feed in the wintertime. There, you weren't running down to the local feed store back in the day, and chickens were laying then. I mean, there's a lot of people that know a lot about chickens, that done a lot of research on it and stuff like that. So again, I'm not being critical and I'm not picking on you. Please don't take it that I'm picking on you. I'm just pointing out information, and I find it interesting that once the feed was changed, in 2 weeks into the feed being different, that their production is up. So that's kind of where I am. Hold on one sec. I got to blow my nose real quick. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I apologize. I get in a sneezing fit sometimes, and that was just like one sneeze. But I'm like, let me just blow my nose ahead of time here, so that's we don't have that issue. But anyway, and again, I'm not saying that there is a connection. Not saying there's not a connection. I don't want to be accused of spreading false information. I'm just sharing the information that is being put out there. You can make your own assessment if you think that there is a connection. But I found it to be quite interesting. I found it to be quite interesting that once we changed feed and did the couple other things as well, that the egg production went up. That's what I find interesting. So if it was the same, if the chickens were still laying the same amount and nothing changed, then I would say, well, okay, but it definitely has changed. So like I said again, I find that interesting, and not trying to read anything into it, not trying to tell you. I'm never going to get on here and say, unless I know for a fact. Okay, if I know something for a fact, then I will say this is information that either they're putting out or whatever the case may be. I'm never going to come on here and speculate on rumors and say yes, this is a fact. I'm never going to do that. So that I would not do. But I find it, like I said, I find it interesting that with that change that we did, plus making sure that they're having the oatmeal and stuff like that, and like I said, and Becky is giving them the mealworms on top of that. That I think that Ed, was that chloride gas scare near you? No, Randy Romine's nowhere near me, nowhere near me. So thank goodness for that. But so let's talk about that. We have, there is speculation again, and again, I'm not going to sit here and I am in no way trying to scare anybody. It's this. There's speculation that there may be some contamination with water. So obviously, I would advise people to please, please, please be careful with that. And yeah, I don't want to end up in YouTube jail for misinformation. That is for sure. Um, but there is speculation that the water may be compromised. So obviously, that is something that you know. Are you concerned that the gas could poison your land? No, I'm nowhere near where that happened, guys. I'm nowhere near where that happened. So no, I'm not worried about at all. But people in those areas, there's a lot of animals that are dying. You know, but I live near two rail lines, very active. Again. So I want to mention this again, guys, because I really think that this is an important thing. When you decide where you want to live, you have to know you have to know what is around you, what things are near you that could be potential problem things. Railroads obviously would be one of them. If you live near a railroad and there's a derailment and there's issues, like what's happening right now up in Ohio, that is something that you have to be concerned about. So again, when you are playing or when you are choosing where you want to live, you know, what are the acceptable risk for you and your family? And we all have to make those choices. I have a friend of mine that his house is here, and 50 feet away is the railroad track. This is up in New York. And I said to him, I go, how in the heck could you live next to, the train tracks with the trains? He goes, dude, like anything, after a while, you don't even hear it anymore. And I get that. If you're, I'll give you another example of something like that. Okay. My neighbors across the valley, they have dogs. They got a bunch of dogs. Dogs are barking a lot. They bark a lot. I literally have gotten to a point where I tune it out and I don't even hear it anymore. So, if you live near a railroad track, eventually you tune it out. If you live near an airport, eventually you don't even hear the planes coming and going. It becomes like a background noise type of thing. And so that absolutely happens as well. But, again, uh, choosing where you want to live. I live up in the mountains. There's no railroad tracks anywhere near here. Now, down in the valleys, next to the rivers, absolutely there's railroad tracks, you know. But here, it's mostly they're pulling coal. They're delivering coal. So, that's what's getting moved. It's not near me, but in this area. So they're not transporting uh, toxic chemicals. They're transporting coal down here. So, but again, that's not near where I'm at. Uh, Ed, if you ever get a chance, go sightseeing in McDowell County. Okay, I will do that, Rick. Thank you. But so anyway, going back again to topic, we have a lot of plants that were affected. Yes, RAP Raquel Welch. She passed away, 82 years old. That's a nice run. So beautiful woman. Was a very big star in her era, in her day, and it's weird. I'm going to tell you, it's weird seeing these people that you grew up with, and they're all going. So uh, it's very very strange. So, but the situation up there in Ohio, people need to be concerned. They need to watch out. That they said that it was okay for some of these folks to go back home. 2 days later, I'm not saying it's the right call. I'm not saying it's the wrong call. I would just be really, really concerned if it was me, you know, in that area, because, like I said, again, these are things that might not turn up. The cancers and stuff might not turn up for a while, and that's a scary thing. I grew up until age 10 under the flight path of an airport, heard planes every hour, then moved into the country at age 10, 2 acres of land. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big change. That's a big, big change. Thank you for that information, Asif, and thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I couldn't imagine how, when you first moved into the country, and how quiet it was. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So we had lived in Charlotte, New York, which was right down by the lake. I literally was less than a mile away, probably about a mile away from the lake, from Lake Ontario. And so we had sold that house and we moved into Greece. So we were technically in the city, if you will, but so we moved from there into suburbia in Greece, New York. And when we first moved into the house, the twins had their bedrooms upstairs, and our master bedroom was upstairs, and then Josh had his room down on the first floor. And so, like, I think it was our first or second night we're there living there, and it was summertime and it was nice. So we had the windows open, and so I'll never forget this. This was so funny. I every time I remember it, it makes me laugh. So Heather says to me, "Daddy, what's that noise?" And what she was hearing was the crickets outside, because we had a 200-foot deep backyard, right? So she was hearing the crickets in the backyard, and I said, "Oh, honey," I go, "That's just the crickets." And I'll never forget this. She says to me, and she's probably, God, I'm trying to think how old she was, 5. She looks at me and she goes, "Daddy, I don't like those crackets." So we still, to this day, we joke around about the crackets. But yeah, it's a fun memory that I will never forget. I hope not. So, but that was fun. That was absolutely fun. But that innocence and not knowing how to say the name correctly. But yeah, she could hear that noise, and it was something different. She wasn't used to it, so And now we live even in New York. We're even farther out. We're way out in the country now, and she absolutely loves it. So, but yeah, so those are, like I said, again, when you're picking your location where you want to be. For me personally, the importance of high ground cannot be understated. I always wanted to control the high ground, so that was one of my things that I thought was really really important because in an SHTF situation, so you got to look at it several different ways. In an SHTF situation, people are going to take the path of least resistance. They're not going to be climbing uphill. They're going to stay on main roads. They're not going to be looking to veer off and go into areas where they're probably not going to be safe. So, but yeah, so that's one of the things why I wanted high ground. I wanted to be out in the country as well. Again, away from high population centers, which I thought was very, very important. When you have less than what is it, 2 million people in West Virginia total, that's really attractive because in the Rochester area where I lived, outside the city of Rochester, there's 1 million people in the surrounding area right up there. So the city of Rochester, you have all the small towns right outside of it. It's all interconnected. So I just I'm real happy that again that's I'm where I'm at. I can definitely tell you that. But anyway, so those are things you got to pay attention to. I mean, like a train derailment, you don't know that's going to happen. I mean, you can't predict that. Do trains derail quite a bit? Yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. You just had another derailment down in Texas where it was a semi truck that got hit by the train. Uh, you know, and again, so the truck driver was killed in that accident, and there's always something like that. It's gonna always gonna be something happening. So again, we could try to. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Hey, I like owning the high ground. I think it's really really important because I got to climb up to get to you, and it's not going to be a fun climb. I will put it like that. So yeah, it's too far coincidental. Yes and no. Um, it like I said again, another one in Arizona, Ed. Chemicals involved with that one too. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so let's do a little speculation. Could it be sabotage? It could be. You don't know. I mean, could it be just a freak accident? It could be. Again, you just don't know. When you have these trains, yeah, the one in Texas also had chemicals on that one as well. The fact that they decided to do a controlled demolition, hey, chicken man, you think they are distracting us from something? Ah, great question. Great question. Thank you very much for the question and thank you for the donation. Very well could be, with what is going on with the situation with China saying that they absolutely plan on retaliating, or they reserve the right to retaliate, I guess is the right how they put it. But you know, it is that there's always distractions. There's always going to be another event that's coming. We will never, like I said again, if there's some kind of nuclear thing happens, guys, we're going to have zero control over that. Zero. So sitting around and fretting and worrying and getting yourself all worked up because of what mighta, coulda, shoulda, could happen, that's not a positive thing. That is zero as far as being positive. But what you can do again, and I've said this, and I'm going to continue to say this, and you might get tired of me hearing me saying it, but what you can do is be proactive and put yourself in the best possible situation. And China is saying the U.S. needs to explain themselves about the Nord pipeline. Didn't see that in mainstream. Well, there is speculation again that we were involved in that pipeline. Now, I thought it was interesting about that when that happened, how quickly that all got swept under the rug and that disappeared. I thought that that was quite interesting that that happened. Now, I am not saying that we had something to do with that. I'm not saying that we did not have something to do with that. I just find it interesting how certain things are put out there and beaten like a dead horse in the news media, and other things that they should be talking about and it should be out there front page and center are just not talked about. And Viking Prepper says America and Norway did it, they say. Again, I don't know for sure, but like I said, again, it just takes one thing. What the old saying is, how many straws does it take to break the camel's back? You keep putting that straw in there, one straw at a time, and eventually it's going to break the camel's back, right? So when you're having these issues in, the trip to China had been canceled. They were going to try to get things smoothed out by that visit, and now all of a sudden that visit was canceled. Relations are not good, right? Relations with China, relations with Russia are not good right now, and so something could happen. Absolutely, something could happen, but we can obviously hope that it doesn't. But to put your head in the sand, and I always love when I hear these comments. Oh, don't worry, nothing's ever going to happen. You know, that's a pipe dream, because something is always going to happen. It doesn't have to be one great big huge event. It could be a series of smaller events. Like I said, the situation that just happened in Ohio, it's a terrible situation. A lot of people are very, very concerned about that, which they should be. And it just I mean, think about this. If you got your farm homestead in Ohio, and you're thinking you're good to go, you got your animals, you got all your preps, you're ready to go for whatever happens, and then this train derailment happens, and your animals are killed because of this gas. You've had to flee your home, and then they're telling you, okay, yeah, now it's safe to go back. Is it really safe to go back? You don't know. You hope it is. You hope it is. So what do we get? 475. Excuse me, in the chat. We're at 237 on the thumbs up. So again, folks, if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. Again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So again, the more the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I do appreciate that. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. It's not so much the derailment, it's the way the cleanup or lack of one was handled. Well, what I didn't understand, honestly, with the situation, and like I said, who am I? I'm not an expert in that field. I don't know. But the fact that they chose to blow those, was it 5 of the cars up, in a controlled demolition, and now all that smoke and crap gets put out into the atmosphere, and those chemicals, what's going to happen with that, and where is that going to go? Well, I see Ron Foster's in the chat, guys, so he is here again. And I'll say it real quick again, because we got about 12 minutes to go. We're going to be giving away this book today, A Pox Upon Us by Ron Foster. That's going to be the giveaway for the person that has the correct egg count tonight. So that is going to be the winner gets that. And then if you do win, you have to send me an email to preppernurse1@yahoo.com. All right. So just putting that out there, and we will do that giveaway tonight in about 11 minutes now. So, but again, JJ just threw the link up for Ron Foster's website. If you want to go check out his other books as well, check those out. But so anyway, when we get to that point, Kilroy, stop it, Kilroy. We're not doing the egg count yet. You have to wait until I say. Jumping the gun a little bit early. But yeah, they're calling for a lot of rain here tomorrow. They're saying we could get up to like a half an inch, which, I mean, the ground is already wet. We've had a couple of dry days in a row, but a half inch of rain is not going to help. So, that that'll be interesting. Yeah, it is what it is. Eventually, I will have an awesome road coming into the homestead, and you know, yeah, 2020. I am the worst year. Haha. 2023 says hold my beer. That's about right too. Again, it's important to control the narrative of what you can control. What can you do? You can stay positive. You can try to stay positive with all the negativity out there and all the bad things happening. It's hard to stay positive, and I get it, and I absolutely get it. Okay, but you also have to look at the situation and say, okay, what can I do to put myself in the best possible situation to deal with whatever happens? And I'm going to share a couple things with you that I've been sharing for years. All right. 2 years ago, I said, buy food now, get stocked up on food that you can have as a long term food option because food will never be cheaper than it is right now. Lo and behold, a couple of years later, look how much food prices have gone up. I mean, exponentially, they've gone up. So, what you bought 2 years ago, you can't even touch that now at that same price. So, when you are looking at, storage, long term storage, and having things, that's a great thing. It's a smart thing to do. And so it just puts you in, again, a better situation. And that's what we're all looking to be. Uh, get that advantage. If you are brand new to prepping, I would suggest looking at the series that I started doing. Uh, you know, prepping on $10 a week. You can prep on whatever amount that you decide to set aside each week. But hopefully, uh, you know, hey Troy, oh you gifted one membership. Well, thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that. Um, but again, it's like prep as much as you want, but if you wanted to look at that series, it's going to give you some ideas. I'm trying to explain things to people. I'm explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing, what the thought process is behind it. A lot of people can say, and there's been a lot of comments, which is great in that series, and I appreciate that. Um, you know, well, what about this? What about that? So, and I get it, and a lot of good advice in there, and that's what we wanted to do with that series is get people talking, get them thinking. What should I get? What would I get if I did it? So I'm just basically trying to show you what you would do, what I would do if I was brand new and looking to prep and trying to get diversified and saying, okay, what can I get? What's gonna help me survive in a long term situation? And if for as little as $10 a week, which is not a lot of money, within a very short period of time, you can have a good amount of food built up. In 6 months, you can have a whole lot of food built up on $10 a week, and so it just show for that series is also for people that say, you know, um, oh, I can't do it. I don't have any extra money. You can come up with $10 a week. You can come up with $10 a week. So, I always hate when people tell me, "Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that." My favorite thing too when people say, "Oh, you're never going to be able to do that." And again, my favorite answer to people that have that mindset is watch me do it because I'm going to do it. There is not quit. There is not any. Nope, this is impossible. That we can't do this. Um, that's not even the case. Don't think you have 6 months anymore, less than 5 months left. You know, I I can't fully disagree with that, and I can't fully agree with that. Prep like a gypsy. Um, we don't know, but think about it like this: if you knew, and here's the thought, guys. If you knew you had 5 months, 5 months to get ready, what are you prioritizing? What are you doing? What are you going to do to get ready? You know what I mean? There's a lot of us out here. I started prepping in 2006. I think it was 2006 is when I started, and and I have been, that is a consuming passion. Obviously, started over here in West Virginia, and I basically think about this. I got told when I bought this property down here, right? Uh, that there's no way you got time to get that property anywhere near ready to do what you need to do. Um, so that is again, and here we are. Last spring we really got going full bore down here in April, and so we're still here. We're still doing it. We're still getting ready, and we're making progress. Is it as fast as I would like it to be? Probably not. I wish it would go a lot faster, but that's Ed, do you think there will be a nuclear war? I would hope not. Hope, to be honest with you, I would hope not. But when you have insane people running things and making irrational decisions, it would not surprise me. I will put it like that. But again, in a situation like that, nobody wins. Nobody wins. So, but yep, Lily Blade, STD, exactly. Step thing and day. I'm going to do what I can do until there's no more time left to do anything. And that's all I can do. And that's all any of us can do. So to sit there and hide in a corner and wring your hands together and cry and fret and worry, that's not going to do any good. That's not going to do any good. So if you say, okay, well, I'm going to continue to live my life. I'm going to continue to do what I need to do, but I'm going to plan a budget, whatever budget you want. You can do more than $10 a week. You can do as much as you want. Have that budget and get started and get going and getting things that are going to give you the advantage that you want. Remember, it's a game. It's a game. So, get that advantage, do what you can do to make yourself be in the best possible position that you can be. And that's really, really important. Did you hear about the Black Hawk helicopter crashing? I did not. Um, I did not hear that. Yeah, bulk grain and beans. Um, I'm trying to think of the kind of wheat that I'm thinking of here. Going blank for the moment. Oh God. And I have a bunch of it. I have a bunch of it. I have some of it here. I have more of it in New York. Wheat berries. Wheat berries. Wheat berries are great because they haven't been turned into flour yet. They will have a 30-year shelf life. 30 years if they're still in the shucks. Make sure you have some kind of a grinder that you can grind that Black Hawk Crash No Survivors. That's not good. That is not good. Um, Make sure you have some kind of grinder so you can grind that to turn that wheat into flour. Very smart thing to do. And but it's will the fallout from the train derailment affect you in New York? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. I'm not exactly. The prevailing winds are always generally, I should say, west to east. So where that derailment was, it should not. Hopefully, should not affect. Where my family is up in New York. I'm hoping that it doesn't. But yeah, it's a bad situation. Bad situation. So pinball preparedness did a video on the winds. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you got to watch the way the prevailing winds are. So that's like when people talk about, and I'm just going to give you an example here. When they talk about nuclear fallout, and they talk about, Washington D.C., New York City, and those type of places on the East Coast. Norfolk, Virginia would be another spot that would probably be a pretty big target because of the naval base. If they got hit, the winds are coming from the west and blowing across. So all that fallout, radiation, and a lot of that would be pushed out over the ocean. So it wouldn't be coming back inland. Some of it, obviously, radiation and stuff like that, would have an effect a certain way inland. So there, I mean, there's no doubt about that. But you would not have, you know, where I'm at. Okay, number one, if you've seen the mountains, guys. Okay, you've seen the mountains. I've kind of showed you in video the mountains. Those mountains are acting as a barrier. So if something happens on that east coast, that mountains are going to help protect me here in this location from fallout, because those mountains are way, way higher than where I'm at. So, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So, yeah, Troy says turn into Ryan Hall for all the information concerning the winds and the weather. Yep, yep. But anyway, so we're almost at that time here. So what do we got? 5:35 in the chat. We're at 3:04 and a thumbs up. Uh, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that really quickly to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time. And I appreciate that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. Again, the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Once again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for doing so. I hearing from people that they're not getting notifications. And so they go in and they look, and their bell icon says all. What I would suggest for you guys to do at that point would be to unsubscribe to the channel, resubscribe again, and hit the bell icon once again. YouTube obviously is playing a lot of games. That's been going on for quite a while. That's not information that nobody that's been on here is a creator doesn't know. Okay, so when I have people call me or write me and say, yeah, they've unsubscribed me like 4 times, and I had to resubscribe again. That's not them doing it. That's YouTube doing it. So those are just things that are happening. So I'm posting every day, streaming 3 days a week. So that's something to think about. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is you wait until I say. So don't guess ahead of time. There you go. No guessing until Ed says so. Exactly. So this is the book we're giving away tonight. A Pox Upon Us by Ron Foster. Once again, thank you, Ron, for donating these books. Very much appreciated. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the giveaway as well and a chance to win the book. If you guys win this book, shoot me an email at preparedness1@yahoo.com. Give me your information, and I will get that out to you as soon as possible. All right. Okay. Guessing now. Yes or no for thick neck, and how many eggs today, guys? So we are on. Give you guys a moment to get your guesses, and it just blew by here, so I have to go back and look and see. All right, I'll give you guys a moment here. All right, give you guys a moment. All right. If you had the same exact guess as Paladin 1 with 5 eggs today, no thick neck, then you are 100% correct. Again, talking about the eggs earlier, there's no way we were getting 5 eggs before. So changing the feed definitely made a big, big difference. So Paladin 1, congratulations. He goes, wahoo there. Shoot me that email and I will get this out. So yes, with getting the egg count correct, you've won something. Normally you've won nothing, but today you have won something. You won the book, A Pox Upon Us by Ron Foster. So once again, definitely, JJ, if you would throw up Ron Foster's link for anybody that would like to go and check that out so they can see the other books that Ron Foster has, I would appreciate you doing that, and thank you. No, I went back and looked. Somebody said 5 and yes before he said 5 and no. Or somebody else just said 5. 5 is not the correct answer. It has to be yes or no for thick neck as well. So he was the first one that was correct with 5 and no. So yeah, that's why I did go back, Ronnie, and looked. So, but what do you do with your expired by Best Buy foods? I keep them and still eat them, Elo. What you have to understand, okay, Best Buy dates on foods. All that does is say that at that point forward, that food will start to lose nutritional value. If the can is not swollen, if the can, when you open it, if there's not a foul smell, that food is still going to be good to eat. All right. I've done this, guys. So I'm not going to share information that I haven't done myself. I have eaten food that expired, or the best by date, I should say, didn't expire. It's a best by date. 5 years, 5 years after the best by date. And guess what? We're still good, still tasted good. Yeah, and I'm still here. So um, if you open a can again and it smells bad, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Okay. But if you have a can and it's swollen and you can see that it's swollen, get rid of that because that's not going to be any good either. That food has gone bad. But if you've properly stored food, it will last a long, long, long time. Uh, yep, tomato products, that's the ones. Fruit, yep, those are the first cans to fail. You are absolutely right, Kathy. Tomato products, a lot of acidity. Fruit products, same thing, a lot of acidity in those, and those will be the ones. If you're going to have those, make sure they're on a rotation, that you're using them on a regular basis. I will tell you what happened to us. So in the by the wood stove, we have the cabinets, and under the cabinets, I had a lot of food in those cabinets. And Becky and Heather were cleaning stuff up, and she said that she opened up the cabinet. There was a lot of fruit in there, a lot of fruit. Okay, peaches, pears, pineapple, fruit cocktail, those type of things. And she said they opened it up, and a lot of the cans had exploded, probably because of the heat of the wood stove. Okay, number one. And she said there wasn't any fruit left. I don't know when that happened, but that's what they had to deal with up there. So they had to clean that out and get rid of that stuff. But yeah, so that those are things that you have to pay attention to. I don't buy unless I'm canning tomatoes. Canning tomatoes is different, but as far as in a can, it definitely, you got to keep an eye on that and keep that in a rotation. If it's something that you use on a regular basis, I had a lot of spaghetti sauce that I had to get rid of because it was way, way past. And when I opened it up, it didn't smell right. So again, you live and you learn. We all make mistakes. It happens. None of us are perfect. And so, that's why I try to store things that I go, okay, what can I store that's going to last a long time? So again, your beans and rice. Rice is indefinite, guys. Rice is going to last forever. Honey is indefinite. It's going to last forever. Your beans, get all kinds of different kinds of beans. You're looking at a 30-year shelf life. With wheat, make sure you get the wheat berries, not processed flour. Processed flour, you're looking at a couple of years. But if you have it in the wheat berry form, again, it's another one that's going to last long. Pasta, yes, as long as it has no egg in it, will last a long time. Elbow macaronis are a really good thing to have. Again, what you're looking at, rice is not super nutritious. Uh, Pasta is not super nutritious, but it's a filler. It's a filler, so it's a good thing to mix other things in with that. So those are really good things to have. I made and canned some caramel apple pie filling 2 years ago. It was great. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah. So, but all seen cats. I've been watching Ed since 2018. I've learned so much. That's cool. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm going to tell you my mistakes. I'm going to tell you where I screwed up, because if I can show you what not to do, and I've done plenty of stupid things in my time, okay? If I can show you what not to do, it's going to help you when it comes to your prepping. So, like with what I've been doing with the series, right? I'm not getting fruits and stuff like that at this point in time. I will add more canned goods because, again, canned goods are going to give you a decent long time, well past the best by date, well past the best by date. And I'm focusing on food. I'm definitely not going to worry about other things at this point in time with that series. So, but, you know, those are things, like I said, again, we all make mistakes. Frederick said I've been watching since 2014. That's cool, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I got started about 2004 is when I started prepping. I started the channel in 2011, I believe. Yeah, I started the channel in 2011. So been on here a while. So, but but yeah, it's just like I said again. If you're proactive and you're doing things and you're doing your research and you're getting things that can help you survive a long time. Again, potatoes, guys. Potatoes are awesome. They're a great superfood, and you can survive just strictly on potatoes alone. Now, would that suck after a while? Yes, but if you can get a pot on a stove, right? Throw a couple cans of vegetables in there, cut up some potatoes, put it in there. Get a can of either chicken or beef or whatever you have in your preps, and put it on that stove. Get your wild edibles that you can collect and put them in there. You make yourself a stew. That's what they used to do back in the day. They would feed that wood stove all day long, have the soup on there, and go from there. Squash, any greens out of your garden, all those type of things. I bought 250 pounds from a local potato farmer and canned most of them and dehydrated some. $20 for 50 pounds. You can't go wrong with that, Don. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, and there's so many different dishes with potatoes, Ann Lockie's saying, and you're right. There's so many different things that you can do with potatoes. So again, great food to have, a great prep item to have, and I think that that's really important. Again, uh, you know, do it smart. Think about long term, and yeah, and you can make vodka out of potatoes. Exactly, Steel Tiger 86. Way to use your thinking cap there. That is very true. That will be important in an SHTF event as well. But yeah, there's a lot of butternut squash will last until about April if stored correctly. Exactly. So what you're trying to do with you know a lot of these different things, you're looking to get yourself a root cellar if you can, have stuff stored long term if you can, and Daytona Bike Week is arriving this first week of March. A great time. One of these years, I would like to do that. Yeah, that would be fun. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, um, russet or red potato? I love red potatoes to eat. I'll be honest with you. I like red potatoes better than the russets, but they're both good. But yeah, I like to fry up russet potatoes. Or not russet, the reds. Yeah, those are just yeah. That's get yourself some vegetable oil and do it that way. Yeah, it's really really nice. So, but anyway, again, you know, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of information out there. I would absolutely encourage you to continue, do your research, pay attention. Whatever you see, again, a lot of distractions going on, a lot of distractions. Uh, you know, now let's think about this, okay? SHTF events, right? We always talk about SHTF. Well, I'll tell you what, for the people in Ohio, right around that town with the derailment, that is an SHTF event. When your animals are killed because of the gas, when you have to flee your home, and you don't know if it's safe to go back or not, that is, how about daily vitamin prepping? Yes, Jared West, very, very important. Uh, I absolutely, like I said, I take vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin D3 every single day. Every single day. I got out of the habit for a while, I'll be honest with you. Then I got sick last year, and I said, "Well, time to get back on track and start taking again." So I've been back on track, and I absolutely been taking it. And actually, I didn't take them today, so that's a good reminder. So I will be taking them after this live stream. But yeah, if you take them every day, that's going to make a big difference. I try to make sure I'm doing it first thing in the morning when I get up. I don't know if I did it this morning or not. I don't think I did, but it's really really important. Especially if you live in the Northeast, you're not getting enough vitamin D because most of this time you get the vitamin D from the sun. So if you are not out in the sun on a regular basis, and if you live in the Northeast, you're most likely vitamin D deficient. Vitamin D promotes your immune system. So it's really important to make sure you're taking that all the time. So everyone back up in New York is fine. Everybody's doing good. I talk to Mom every day. I talk to Heather every day. I talk to Becky quite a bit as well. Talk to Eddie. Everybody's doing well, and they'll call up. I'll give you a great example. Something happened just the other day, and then we're gonna do some shout outs here right after that. But I'll tell you what happened. So Heather calls me up, and she says, "Oh, I think the bathroom light blew." And I said, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay." Um, so then she goes, "Well, I'm going to go take a shower." And I said, "Okay." So she calls me back like 5 minutes later. "Dad, something's wrong with in the bathroom. Hot water on demand's not working. I can't turn the water on." And I went, "Okay, all right. First of all, walk over to the panel box." She goes, "Okay." So she walks over to the panel box. I said, "Open it up. Check the breakers. Are all the breakers okay?" She goes, "Yep, all the breakers are on." I said, "Okay, the next thing you want to do, go to the kitchen, and you're going to see that plug on the left hand side of the sink. You see that plug there?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Push the reset button." She goes, "Okay." She pushes the reset button. I said, "Is the light green now?" And she goes, "Yes." She goes, "It was yellow." I said, "Okay. Now go in the bathroom and turn the light on." She walked into the bathroom, turned the light on. She goes, "Okay, yep, everything's working now." She goes, "Thanks, Dad." But again, she had to learn that. She didn't know. You know what I mean? She did not know. So that's something, again, yeah, from here I can walk her through that, and that's easy. Okay, because I know what is the most likely scenario, what's going on. So what do we got to do to fix that, right? So, but the thing is, she had no idea. So it was important that I walked her through it. So now next time that happens, first thing she's going to do is she's going to check that reset button and see if that reset is, green or yellow. And it's simple things like that that we all take for granted that you don't think about, but they're important. So, yep, the GIF, yep, or GFI. I'm sorry. All right. So, but that's but she should have been taught that before leaving. What if you were not around to contact? Randy Romines, I can't think of absolutely everything that could possibly go wrong. So, but I am around, and she was able to call me. So that's oh, believe me, I've got a lot of phone calls. I've gone over, you know, I've gone over all those things with them, and then they still call me about different things. So, that's how you learn. That's how you learn. So, all right. So we're gonna do shout outs. We're gonna start out with Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy. I would ask you to go and check out his channel and support him. You have Angry Prepper with Jason down in New York City. He's a real good guy as well. You have Alaska Prepper with Rudy, another really good guy. Check him out as well. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Two different channels, same guy, building up in Canada in the wilds. Amazing to watch what this guy does, and it's really cool to see him do his thing up there. You have Demcad, also really good guy as well. Definitely check him out. You have Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. There is 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, a really cool series. Definitely check that out as well. Interesting to listen to what he's putting out there with that series. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Another great channel, good guys. Been on his show a couple times and definitely like him. Very, very down to earth. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar with Cody, real good guy again. A lot of good information on his channel. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota. Uh, 1.8 million. Is that what's in West Virginia? Yeah. So not a ton of people. So I thought it was less than 2 million. But anyway, let's see. Also, we have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, two different channels. A lot of good information with them. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. So definitely check them out as well. You have Green Greg's, nice guy as well. A lot of good information on his channel. Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series. A lot of good information there as well. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is St. Bernard Acres with Joe. I will be making a trip at some point up to Joe's place this year. I will probably be doing it this year. And so I got to give him his auger back anyway. So I have to make a trip up to see him. And he definitely wanted me to come and check out his place at St. Bernard Acres. There is Doug and Stacy, another really good channel, good people there. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama, another young couple, really good channel. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona, doing their thing out there, living in the desert. So really cool to watch what they're doing. There is Camping with Steve Wallace. He does stealth camping, a lot of fun, and definitely enjoy his channel as well. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There's Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader, another really good channel. Boss of the Swamp, he's been around for a very, very long time. Check him out, show him some support as well. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Really great channel, a lot of good information. If you want to hear anything about the Grand Solar Minimum, he is definitely the man to listen to with that. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer. You have Bear Independent. The Uneducated Economist. You have Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest on earthquakes, Yellowstone, what's going on there as well. Good information with her channel as well. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, y'all, definitely, check him out. Really good guy, gives a lot back to the community as well. Then there is Russell Brand. I personally really like Russell Brand. I think he makes people think, and I think that that's important. He gives you the information, and he lets you figure out what you want to do with it, and I like that about him. There is Deep South Homestead, another fantastic channel. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's. You have The Prepared Mind, formerly of California. Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee, another good guy. Our resident Sasquatch. East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and then there is Little House Off Gritty. They are also in Tennessee. Another good channel, and so good points, good channels, good information. I think that we need to be supporting each other. We need to look at other channels as well to see what information that they have. And Bear Independent today said we are probably in a light World War III. His opinion. Well, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Hope. Like I said again, the biggest thing I think that is important is that we control what we can control. Don't panic. Panic is the enemy. Um, yeah, he's our resident Sasquatch. Pinball is 6'8", guys. He is a big dude. I met him not last year, but the year before when he did his get together, and amazing, amazing how big he is. Black Hawk helicopter crash in Madison County, Alabama. 6 Tennessee guardmen on board died. Witness said it exploded. Highway 53 is blocked off. Wow, not good. Neat shirt. Yeah, I got. So when last year we went and saw Aerosmith up in Boston, went up there with Eric and had a really really good time. And he's a good dude. Good dude. Eric's awesome. Went up there, got to see Aerosmith. Great concert. They were amazing. They were amazing. Glad to get to see them, and so that was really cool. Almost 3 dozen schools here in MA put on lockdown this week because of swatting. See, that's yeah, I know all about swatting. It's sad, very very sad. So unfortunately, unfortunately, what size shirt do I wear? I am an extra large, Don. I am an extra large, and I appreciate you wanting to send me a shirt. That's very cool. You have, it's my PO box, which is going to be down in the description, is the best place to send that. So, yep, they were at Fenway. Yep, I saw them at Fenway. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Great time. Somers County, West Virginia High School was evacuated today. Yeah, there's, with people doing stupid stuff like the swatting crap, it is ridiculous. Do you have an Air Force flag? Mark, yes. Up in New York, I do. I do not have one down here. If you would like to send one down here to West Virginia, I need to get. I guess I got to get my flag up that I have here as well, and get that on the wall as soon as I can as well. I'll put it on the battery room. But yeah, I definitely need to get the flags going again down here. So if you get anybody that wants to send me, okay, I will not take state flags. I'm not flying state flags. But if Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, any one of those, I will definitely fly them, you know, absolutely with no problem. If you want to send me a flag from your country of origin, if you are originally from Germany or your ancestors are from Germany and you want to send me a German flag, I will fly it. Yes, I will fly the Chinese flag. Okay, so for all of you that are going to start, I will not fly an ISIS flag. Okay, so let's not be stupid. All right, realistically, I'm just putting that out there. But any country that you are from, Puerto Rico, if you are from Cuba, I don't care. I'll fly your flag. So I have no problem with that. It's just my way of showing us that we're in it together, and I think that that's important to do so. So if anybody would like to send me a flag, Canadian, any of my Canadian subscribers want to send me down the Canadian flag, you folks that are over in Australia, the UK, anybody from any place, please send me your flag and I will fly it. A little to help out. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. All right. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? So we have Rhonda from Dayton, Ohio. Mark is from Vegas. We have Daniel from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Pennsylvania is in the house with Freehawk. Waterloo, New York with Sharon. West Virginia. Let's see, Franklin County, Ohio. Syracuse, New York. California for Sherry. BC, Canada with Janet. Mescal, Arizona. Virginia. We have Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. East Central Illinois. Washington State. Tucson, Arizona with Angela. Edgewater, Florida, the beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds, the Lone Star Tate, which is Tejada. Switzerland is in the house. Glad to have you here. Troutman, North Carolina, Southwest Ohio, Pennsylvania, Littleton, New Hampshire, Upper Northwest Michigan. We have New Hampshire again, Carlise in the UK, and glad to have you here. Thanks for staying up late. Western New York, Mexico, Missouri, East Texas, South Slimy, Jersey. Oh my God, that's so funny. Singwis, Maine. We have Virginia's in the house. Central Iowa with Robert. We have Nebraska with Brian. Nooney with from Alabama. Roll Tide, Nooney. St. Augustine, Florida with Diane. Italy, Kentucky with Sherry. Bellevue, Nebraska. We have West Central Iowa with Dale. Georgia's in the house. We have St. Louis, Missouri. Uh, oh, it was Massachusetts? Okay. Ocala, Florida. My mistake. Let's see. Northeast Philly with Marjorie. Bumstead, Florida with Frederick. Sawgus. Massachusetts. Gotcha. All right, Angela. Sorry about that. Saugus. Bay of Islands, Newfoundland in Canada. Glad to have you here. Let's see. The egg count tonight was five. Five eggs with no thick neck tonight. Little old me in northern Wisconsin. Sandusky Bay, Ohio with T Star. Oh, it's Mary. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry. They're going so fast, guys. That's what happens a lot of times. We have northern Wisconsin. Yep, we did that one. Let's see. Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert. And Cowgirl in Arizona. Nicole, Wyoming. Very nice. Glad to have you here. So, again, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We are the ones that can make a difference now by trying to educate, trying to wake people up. We will make more of a difference after an event because after an event, people will need to learn how. And I think that's going to be a big time part of what we need to do. Uh, Having a farm in Alabama, Kenneth? PC Beach home? Okay. Oh, sorry you had to do that. But my son just bought a cabin in the North Pocono Mountains. Very nice, Mary. Very nice. Beautiful country up there, too. Very, very beautiful up there. We affectionately call Pennsylvania Pennsyltucky. So it's like an inside joke that we've had in the family for years. So once you get out of like Philly and Pittsburgh, it can be pretty rural in Pennsylvania. So same with New York. Once you get away from the cities, it's the same thing. It's very, very rural, a whole different mindset, which is not a bad thing. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who just do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. It means a lot to me, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, and that is really, really awesome that you guys continue to come in here, make sure the chat is clean, and it means a lot. I thank all you guys for being here because without you guys here, I wouldn't be here either. So, a lot of fun, really, really cool. A big shout out again to Ron Foster for sending the books and getting them out to you guys and doing that for the giveaway. Very, very awesome of him to do that, and so that's very cool as well. And like I said, I'm keeping a copy of each one myself, so thank you, Ron, for that as well. And I definitely will take the time to sit down and read them as well. So very much appreciated. Um, but anyway, uh, now if you guys hear, I'm going to show you this one. I think this is a good book to have if you want to go to Ron's website and check out a book to have. I'm big on gardening. Big on gardening. I've told you guys that a lot. In a post event, we are not going to be hunters because there will be nothing to hunt. We are going to be growers and gatherers, okay? Here's a really good book by Ron Foster that I think that you should get. So definitely go to his website. JJ, if you would throw the website up there one more time. This is the Bug Out Gardening Guide, okay? A lot of good information in here. It's all full of just tremendous amount, some pictures in there for you to see different things. A lot of, breaks things down, explains a lot of things. Definitely check that out, okay? So definitely check that out. But that would be one that I would put very high on my recommendation list. All right. So, anyway, guys, um, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that out, we truly will be in much better shape. Um, where's the link to the book? JJ just threw the link up there. JJ just put Ron Foster's link up there. You go to his website, and and you can check that out there. All right. So, also, again, you know, we need to stop letting them divide us. They use race, religion, political affiliation, the vax, the unvax. These are all things that are used to keep us fighting amongst each other over nonsense. Doesn't make any difference at the end of the day. You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever religion you want. You can't help what race you are, okay? But at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all bleed red. That's a fact, okay? If we can come together and work together, we can accomplish anything that we set our minds to. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them on. Yep, he's just saying sold on Amazon and other bookstores. Yep, you can go right on Amazon and get that book from Ron Foster, guys. Um, Tell the people that you care about every day how you feel. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. We could all be gone. Don't know. But I want to make sure that I tell the people that I care about every day how I feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right. I hope everybody has a great night. I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.